Hello everyone and welcome. I hope you don't mind another Weekender card. We're going to be assembling the Waterfall card today. And I have got this tray. It is one of two that has a bunch of homework pieces that I had prepared in advance for the Weekender, and I didn't get a chance to watch all of the videos. Now I believe that's this bunch of stuff I'm pulling out here are pieces of homework for JC Gasper's card with a waterfall. Now, JC did a fun pop-up element, almost like a shadow box type card for this, and I didn't get a chance to watch the video or work with it, but I did have the homework sheet and I die cut out all the pieces and did do some gluing of some of the rocks and stuff together. And so today what we're going to do is I'm going to get this tray out of my craft room. I am going to use the Weekender booklet and just open it up to the picture in which his card is displayed, and I'm going to try and follow it as much as I can. It won't be exact, and as I get going, I start ad-libbing and just adding additional bits and pieces to it that are in this tray that went with other homework assignments. I don't know. And we're just going to get started and get this assembled. So I'm just going to bring in an A2 size card panel, and this is kind of a heavy duty panel, and I'm just going to build all of my elements on it with this, and we're going to get to assembling this waterfall card, and it really comes together very pretty. I need to check. I think the Weekender is still available. Last time I looked it was. So I just paused and looked it up, and it is still available on the Spellbinders website, so if you would be interested in picking it up, you certainly can. And I mean, there are some fun dies. There's a lot of great stuff in the kit. I think it's valued at $250, and they've got it marked down to $179.99. Anyway, it is a little bit of an investment, but if you really like the dies that are included in it, I would suggest you get it. This die here is a great big die set, and then you have the cat and the toucan, and you have the chameleon, and just all kinds of fun stuff that's included in this kit. Anyway, and you can still get all of the lessons and the instructions and everything. I just simply don't have the time to go back and look at it. Been really busy this summer with the grandsons, and then just trying to keep my channel running and all the new product that is coming in, and so I just haven't had time to, just kind of piddle around and spend time just watching, whatever. Anyway, but been having a lot of fun creating on my channel, and so relieved that I've refocused my life and am back home where I belong with my grandchildren and my husband, and doing my crafting and stuff. So it's really been a blessing, and the Lord has richly blessed me for the decision that I've made, and I'm so thankful for that. Anyway, I'm going to get the waterfall rocks laid down here, and I've got the clouds and the sun, and I'm just angling them and trimming them off, and it kind of looks like what was pictured. It's not exact, but it is a handmade card. So we've got all of these stones or rocks or whatever you want to call them, and we've got the detail layers already glued on them. This was part of the homework that I did. And you've got gray on gray, which is anchor, and then you've got anchor with fog on it, which is the lighter ones, and then you have got raven with anchor on it. And so you've got all of these different rock tones, and it really makes it interesting. I think JC did a nice job of introducing all of the different colors of rocks. I don't think the other instructors did that. He really mixed it up with a variety of rocks, and I think it was super fun. Anyway, so we're going to get these rocks laid down on here. I'm going to just try and eyeball it from the picture and lay it down on there the best that I can do. One of the things that I did was I did put my clouds and then my sun up higher, and so I've started it up higher, and it'll leave some white at the bottom of my panel there. And I'll have to bring in an ink blending brush and blend it in, which isn't something that JC did, but I guess I'm just making this my own. So here's the detail part of the waterfall, and I'm just going to get it laid down on here. It's like the, water just running down off of the rocks. And I'm going to get my glue cleaned up, just using my tweezers there to just kind of clear up any glue that's there. And we're just going to position this down on here and just get to assembling all of our bits and pieces. So today was a lovely day. We spent a good deal of it outside. The boys wanted to go around town and see all the construction and everything. We did walk the bridge over into the next town, and they enjoyed that and played in the park for a little bit on the slides, and just went around and looked to see what kinds of things were going on in town. They had fun with that. They did a good bit of riding in the driveway on their bicycles and scooters and had fun doing that. I was trying to think, did we do anything else? Not really. They did watch a little bit of some of their little shows that they like to watch with the fire trucks and the trains and stuff like that. But overall, it was a good day. The weather has been lovely. I did wake up this morning just freezing. We had the windows open in the house, and it had gotten down like into the 50s, and so it was kind of chilly in the house. And then this afternoon, after the boys left, I had gone with my youngest daughter, and we got manis and petties for our upcoming birthdays/vacations, and got that done, and then went out to dinner. And then when I got home, Pat had been mowing all day. He had turned on the air, and I was like, oh, the air's on. So we haven't, I don't know if this might be the first time we've turned the air on for the season, which is amazing to be almost at the end of June and having not had to run it. So here I just took some Uncharted Mariner and laid it down in that white area just to bring in some color. And then we'll fill the rest of this in with our rocks and stuff, and you won't see the white that's sticking out there. So this is the bottom layer of our pool of water, and I'm just going to tuck it in up there, and then there is a detailed layer, and then there are some splashes that we're going to use. And I'm just going to bring that brush in and just add some more ink and kind of get some on the bottom of that little cardstock just to kind of help tie things in together and just fill in any areas that weren't quite filled in. Now this is the ripples of the water, if you will. And then there are two splashes of water, two different sizes, a larger and a smaller. And I've actually got two different colors in the large one die cut out. And I've decided I'll just layer all three of them up and not waste them. And then my splashes of water will just have an extra layer. And so this is where I'm looking at it and just seeing if the rocks are where they need to be. And they are, so I'll just position that. And then we'll bring our splashes in, and I'm going to layer, like I said, all three of them up, and it will just kind of make my water a little more interesting because we're going to do multiple layers. And so I'm going to put the color that matches the pool of water on the back, and then we'll go lighter and lighter toward the front. We'll bring in some foam squares just to level it up because we've got some dimension there on both sides of it, and we'll give that a press. And then we'll just layer these others up. We'll bring in some foam squares as well, and then just kind of stack them and just make it look really interesting. So I actually created this. I did the video while the boys were napping. They took a little nap, and I thought, I'd get in there and get something made. So I grabbed it, and I did this while they were sleeping, and then I got it finished up just in time because then they woke up and wanted to go outside and play a little bit before their mom got here. So I just stopped the video and went with them, and then went to the nail salon with my daughter, and the way they had us scheduled, I was kind of sitting for a minute, so I just edited it while I was there and got it all ready to go. And then when I got home from dinner, I was able to do the voiceover. So I'm doing this voiceover at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And it's quiet because he had a busy day, so he has gone to watch some TV in the other room. And I thought, well, I can get the voiceover done then. So now I'm just taking some of the leafy elements and just filling it in and just going to add some things. And here I'll bring in, I'm just choosing some that are similar to JC's card, but then I'm bringing in some additional pieces that I thought would add some more interest. Now this has some die cut pieces that needed to be popped out, and so I'm just popping them out, and we're just going to get to embellishing our little waterfall area with all of the greenery, the floral bits and everything. And we'll just start getting them together. So I'm going to lay these 3 leaves down on the top here. And then we're going to bring in some of the vines and we'll start tucking them in and just adding some different elements. And I've got a lot of these because I had die cut a bunch of them out. So we'll just keep working through this and getting the little bits and pieces laid down on there. So for my manicure pedicure, I did the red, white, and blue theme so that I would be all ready for the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And so I'm all set and ready to go. And I haven't had my nails done. I've been going kind of natural and using some different polishes, but the last month I think I've been just really natural, so it's good to have my nails done. So as you're watching the video, I've got the natural state of my nails done. And then after I finished the video, I went and got them done. So I'm excited to have them done and fresh, and I've got the toesies done and just ready to sit in the sand on the beach and soak up some sunshine. So I'm just digging through this tray and looking for some more bits and pieces. I've got some little green leaves there. I've got some more vines, and I'm going to do some tucking. We'll bring in some more, I don't know, palm fronds or whatever you want to call them, and just embellish it. It really is a beautiful die set, and with the, all the floral elements, you can really create a beautiful scene, and you really don't need much else. Now here I'm going to bring another one in and just kind of tuck it up higher. I think JC had a couple of those up there. I will bring one for the other side, which he didn't have, and then I'm going to bring some florals in as well and add those. Those weren't included with his instructional piece, but it doesn't matter. I've got all these elements. I'll just use what I want. So I've got these leaves. I'm going to bring in I've got some of the florals die cut out in white, and I'm just going to bring them in, and I'll just pair these together with it, and we'll add these. And he didn't have any of these on his card, so we'll just get those added. And then instead of using the centers, I will go looking for them, but I don't know. They're probably in the other tray that I don't have laying there. We'll use some of the gems that came with the kit, and we'll just embellish the centers of them with that. So I hope I don't bore you with my kind of daily life weather update and grandkids stories and whatever, but it gets kind of redundant, just kind of talking through all of the elements of the cards each and every day. So I try to add just a little bit of, interesting commentary about, my life or what I'm doing, just to kind of add to it so it's not quite so boring, just talking about, foam tape and gluing and pressing and sticking and all that. I know I do a good bit of that, but hopefully you find it somewhat interesting and feel like you can kind of get to know me a little bit better. So I'm just going to use the gems that were included in the Weekender kit to put for the centers of the flowers on here. I've got another one, and I'm just going to add it as well. And I'm going to bring in another palm frond. I don't know if that's what that's called, but that's what I'm going to call it. And we'll just get it tucked in on this side and just kind of even it out. I think it's getting nice and full, and it's really coming together. We're going to bring in this larger, lighter one, and I'll figure out what to do with it. I'm going to bring a foam square in and just give it a little bit of dimension. And we'll stick it down. We're going to put it up here with the other and just add some layers and some dimension. Then I'll bring in that other white flower. I think, yeah. Oh, I'm bringing in a foam square, and we'll get it tucked in on our card. And I think I'm looking for another, yeah, I've got the other center to the flower there. And cleaning up any glue or any little die cut hairs I've got there. And now we're ready for our card base. So I've just got a side folding card base. I'm going to get it laid down on there now. I noticed my card base was a little bit off, so I went off camera and just chopped it off. And then I'm going to get some glue on here and get this laid down. And I think it looks really pretty. Now we do need a sentiment, and so we have the sentiment from the set, and I'm going to bring it in. And for this, I am following JC's picture, and he chose the Go Where Your Spirit Feels Alive, and he used anchor cardstock with a white heat embellished or embossed stamping is what he did. And so I'm just going to do the same thing. And I've just got this tiny little corner piece, and I'm like, I want to use this. I don't want to cut more into another piece of anchor. And so I'm going to use a block and stamp it. I don't normally trust myself to do this, but I thought, we've got this little bit of paper here. So I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool. I've got my little block. I've got my Versaclair watermark ink, and I'm just inking it up. It's pretty juicy, and I'm going to give it a good press, and it pressed really nice, and so I'm going to be able to use it. So I'll just grab some embossing powder, and we'll get this embossed and heated up, and then we'll be ready to go. So I cut out the rest of the embossing and all that. We're just going to lay our die down on there, put some tape around there, bring in the scout. We'll die cut this out, and then we're going to have Go Where Your Spirit Feels Alive. And we will be able to get it laid down on our card base. And we've got a beautiful waterfall card that's going to come together. So I'm going to add some foam tape on this just because I've got so many layers and dimension there with the rocks and the water and all of the elements. And this will just help to get it to lay down on there nicely. We'll just give it a press, and that is pretty much our card. So I have taken a couple of pictures of it so that you can check it out. If you like, please hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe. Thanks for watching. And here's a couple more videos you might find interesting.